Imagine you're watching a movie, and you press pause at exactly the 28-minute mark. On screen, there's a woman. She's sitting at her coffee table. She's sipping on lemonade, looking out a window at a beach sparkling under the sun. If you showed a friend this snapshot and asked, "How do you think she's feeling?" They might say she looks calm, peaceful. They might even mistake the genre for a rom-com. But you've watched this whole movie. You know that just out of frame, her kitchen countertop is covered in case files. You know that she hasn't slept in 3 nights trying to piece together a timeline that just doesn't make any sense. You know that in 2 minutes, she's going to find the missing clue that breaks the whole case wide open. You know that this is not a rom-com. It's a high-stakes mystery. We all know what it's like to be reduced to a snapshot, a credit score, a quick performance review. But when you're a woman, exhausted, hair thinning, waking up at 3 a.m. every night drenched in sweat, heart beating like a drum in your chest, being reduced to a snapshot is an everyday frustration that is quietly devastating. When you're a doctor, they say, "Your labs, they're fine. They look normal. It's probably just stress." You feel confused, dismissed. If you're anything like me, you cry out of frustration. You think to yourself, "I know my body. It can't just be stress." You're not imagining this. A recent report by the McKinsey Health Institute found that even though women live longer than men, we spend almost 25% of our time in poorer health, losing days, weeks, and ultimately years of our lives to ill health. Those lab tests, they're the snapshot, an accurate representation of your thyroid and iron at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning, but not the full story. That snapshot doesn't capture the days you couldn't get out of bed. It doesn't capture the anxiety of watching a clump of hair fall into your hand when you get in the shower. And it doesn't capture the quiet despair of, when am I going to feel better? Am I ever going to feel better? And now on top of everything else, you are assigned to your own case, and you go into full true crime mode using a mental corkboard, a piece of red string, trying to connect your Tuesday afternoon bloating to a slice of pizza you had in 2021. And this moment, when you're trying to figure things out on your own, when you're feeling a little hopeless, is when the wellness industry, they come into the picture and say, "Hey," they offer you something your doctor, frankly, did not. Validation. They say your symptoms, these are a hormone imbalance, they're toxins, something that kind of sounds like science, something that they can use to sell to you. We trade the medical dismissal for an expensive illusion. As a licensed naturopathic doctor and a Menopause Society certified practitioner, I sit at the intersection of both these worlds, watching an under-resourced medical system rely on the snapshot and a one concern per visit structure, while the wellness industry swoops in to catch the women falling through these gaping cracks. So when patients come in and they ask, "Is it my hormones?" after spending all their resources on trying to figure out answers, the answer is yes, but not in the way you think. See, your hormones, they're a complex and dynamic narrative. They can't be accurately captured by a snapshot. They change constantly over your menstrual cycle and your lifespan. We desperately try to draw a straight line from a hormone level like estrogen to a particular symptom, but we oftentimes cannot. The difference is not the number. The difference is, who does this number belong to? It's the context. How do you respond to hormone change? What is your sensitivity to natural hormonal fluctuations? A sensitivity that is influenced by your circumstances, your health history, and yes, even your stress levels. Medicine's siloed approach, which is really important for expertise, it underserves women's healthcare because it separates everything. You have a mood issue, psychiatrist; bleeding issue, gynecologist. When your hormones, they have their fingers in all of your systems. They don't respect the boundaries of those medical specialities. And who ends up suffering? We could talk about the $1 trillion that the global economy is going to lose by the year 2040, but the true tragedy is the cost to you, your time, your peace, your agency. This is what happens when we only view women's healthcare through a reproductive lens. We miss the entire narrative. So, how do we decode the future of women's health? Frankly, we've got to not rely on someone else's script. The the most underutilized and powerful technology in women's healthcare is not a new expensive test or a gadget. It's something that we already use in medicine every single day to diagnose people and to dictate treatment. Yet somehow we forget about it when it comes to women's healthcare. That technology is pattern recognition. I know, I really built that up. You're expecting something revolutionary, but stick with me. Your hormones don't respect medical silos, and your symptoms will not either. Pattern recognition is how we see across them, turning your pain points into usable data. You have got to step into the role of the lead investigator to build your case in this high-stakes mystery that's your health. You have to ask yourself, what am I feeling? Name that clue. And then you're going to track the 3 T's. Number 1, timing. When does it happen? Does it follow my cycle? 2, triggers. What brings it on? What makes it better? What makes it worse? And toll. How does this affect my day-to-day life? Timing, trigger, toll. Note this down wherever you track your period, and only you can do this work. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wish you didn't have to be a full-time investigator on top of all of the other things that you do. But until the system changes, your gathered proof is really the only thing that gets you on the path to better care. And let me show you the difference that it makes. Walk into a clinic and say, I'm tired and moody all the time. The system, it hears stress. But what if you tracked your clues for a few months and said, my periods are 50% heavier than last year. I sleep 7 hours a night and I'm exhausted all day. 10 days before my period, migraines, hot flashes, intrusive thoughts, I'm losing almost half the month to this. You are no longer a passive patient complaining of fatigue and irritability. You've changed the whole dynamic in the room. You're a lead investigator presenting collected evidence, forcing the system to look past the snapshot and consider perimenopause or a premenstrual disorder, something beyond just stress. And when enough women walk in with this level of evidence, it starts to change what clinicians look for, it starts to change what gets studied, and eventually it will also change what the system is designed to detect. It changes the entire genre. The future of women's health might not be a miracle technology, although we'll take it. It lies in the realization that your daily lived experience becomes clinical data the moment you start tracking it and sharing it with your medical team. So, go to your doctor. Get that snapshot, rule out the disease. Science is beautiful and testing, when relevant, is vital. But a single frame does not define the whole movie. Your body, it's telling a story. Don't just hope they listen. Be the one who narrates it.